Josh of Allentown rode into Arrowhead Rock. War cries echoed behind Josh, and a galloping thunder echoed through the canyons. He encircled him, the Warhawk, in full dress. His mohawk hair was cropped high to expose the 2 arrowhead brands on the flesh of his temples. The mohawk reared in front of Josh of Allentown. Josh summoned his pinto to rear. What a sight for the Colossus to witness. 2 nations of equal dignity, 2 armies of equal might, 2 gunslingers, 2 stories.
And welcome back to the official companion podcast for the Buffalo Multiverse. I am your host, Cory McCants.
I am Travis, the creator and writer of this book.
Welcome back to our podcast where we are just 2 guys talking about this book, about the NFL games, about what inspired the chapters. And what you just heard was an excerpt from our chapter, Arrowhead Rock. There we go. So, let's get into it. We just heard that amazing intro there. I got goosebumps. I'm feeling like Josh is out there, like, you know what I mean? It's time to rock. He's ready to go, you know?
Yeah, we are all prepped with the 13 seconds game and all of the baggage. We, as an audience and as Josh, we know what it means to show up at Arrowhead Rock and to face the Chiefs. And we'll see. And Josh is trying basically the same experiment he did before. He's going to show up by himself on a horse and thinks he's going to go one-on-one against Patrick Mahomes, the Mohawk. We'll see how that works out this time. So, yeah, we're in the present now as opposed to the flashback of last year.
So before we get any further into it, let's talk about this actual game. So last episode of the, last part of the 2-parter that we were doing was all about the 13 seconds game. And now we're in present, this present day. So let's talk about that game.
And so, this was a regular season game about midway through our schedule. I remember at halftime of this game, we were tied again and just like, all right, here we go.
Here we go again.
Couldn't be more equal. The refs had a moment to shine, which was Jones deliberately trips Josh as he's trying to scramble around. The official right next to him misses that. So that came at a very late part of the game, a third down, got us off the field, and could have been the end of the game. Von Miller stepped in, got a sack, gave us the ball back, and it seemed like Brandon Beane's plan was going to work. Von was specifically picked as a possible answer to the 13 seconds. One of the critiques was like, we weren't getting to Mahomes. I don't know if he was sacked at all in the 13 seconds game. And so it seemed like that was going to be one major chief beating type of installations. And it ended similar where like the Chiefs would have had a chance to answer back with a few seconds left, but this time Taron Johnson, Hawkeye Johnson, gets a big interception and bails us out.
Yeah.
So Bills get to go home victorious for the second time in their history, modern history of beating the Chiefs during the season. And it felt like this could be it.
It felt like this could be it. Yeah. So that game was 24-20. Davis was essential. Yeah. Diggs was locked in. Yeah. Like everybody was on their A game, and you kind of have to be for this kind of game. Yeah. What I really love about this part of the chapter is how you bring the team into it. So you already set up that Allen at first is trying to go at it alone like he does. Like that's just what he knows. But we've hinted at needing to be a team player. We've hinted at the failure that comes with trying to do it all on your own. I love how you bring them in. We'll get to that when we get to it.
Sure.
But I want to plant that seed now for those that haven't read it or heard it and are excited. Like, what do you do? I love the way you bring it in. And so that's something to look forward to. Can you give us a quick, one sentence recap of this second half here?
So our small little splinter group of Josh, Davis, and Dawkins think they might get through Chiefs Kingdom. They don't have their hostage anymore, which was Travis Kelce or Traveler KC. He's just missing. We're not sure where he is, but he's going to come back to haunt them. Josh confronts Patrick, challenges him to a one-on-one duel. Let's not get our armies involved. Just me and you to settle our score, and that's what it becomes. It becomes a a series of epic feats. Some of them we watch closely. Some of them are just happening in the background while Davis is up to some spy versus spy stuff. And the big twist is that Josh fails in his one-on-ones to the point of he lost the game. And luckily, his entire team of Buffalo Bills Wild West show come in and Diggs' airship and just storm onto the field, and it becomes a total equalizer, and it becomes the thing that takes them over the edge. So the cavalry comes for Josh finally, and he gets reinforcements, and we get out of this one. The final line is, a new story has gone out from this area that the Bills are in control of the borderlands and Chiefs Nation. Yeah.
Good. That was a good recap.
Thanks for trying.
You got a little experience under your belt now, so you're getting it. Yeah. Is there any part of this second half that stands out in the immediate? Is there one part that you want to take us through?
Yeah, I'm just gonna the number of voices that I did not know I was getting myself into when I started this whole thing. This time we got to Mr. Patrick Mahomes, which has one of the most distinctive voices in the world.
Oh, it does, but I love it. Oh, I love it.
It's a distinct voice, but one that's like not everybody has in their back pocket. Not the old, hello, governor, I can do British. So we'll hear my attempt at a Patrick Mahomes, and also introduce that character in himself. Hey, Mohawk of the War Chiefs. Oashe, I see you. The Mohawk smiled, bending war paint. You are seen, boy Maverick, by every eye of the great Chief Kingdom, man. A corresponding eruption of noise clamored from the cliffs, tomahawks chopping rock. The Mohawk looked at him slyly. So, a new horse. All his teeth, I hope.
There it is. Let's give a round of applause for that. For that voice, man.
They've called him like Kermit the Frog, or Yoda, I don't know.
Danny McBride. A couple of those in there, and that's what you got. That's what you got, man. Yeah. The process was interesting. I listened to a lot of his press conferences. We had just beaten them when we did this, and so he went on the press and was complaining about bad calls and stuff. It was like sort of a crybaby. That was so fun to watch, just to enjoy that. And it wasn't like a bad coin flip. It was his guy lined up off sides. Just you broke the rules. Yeah. I don't know.
We understand that. But what was interesting, at the time there was like a novelty AI generator where you could, have Patrick say anything you want. Someone set it up because he was being a crybaby. So you could just like go on a website and type in. So I put in these lines like, so a new horse, all of his teeth, I hope, just to hear how AI's voice said it in his voice. And then I kind of use that as like a way to practice like imitating the intonations and stuff.
Yeah. So
I hope AI doesn't get offended that humans are now using it to maybe take over AI's space, and territory it thinks.
That's really interesting to hear your process in that, because you do a lot. I mean, you do every voice in here, so you do a lot of voices.
For a couple chapters now, we've included some of the Haudenosaunee language, which is actual research from a dictionary that they've published on the internet of real words, and they don't always have a word for everything, but just like any other language out there, I thought it was important to represent and include in our version of the Buffalo Nation. That is one of the fluent languages that Josh certainly knows and says with pride. So
that was going to be my next question: was what language are they speaking? And at an earlier part, you do mention Haudenosaunee people, which is big ups. That's what I mean. Shout out to the Haudenosaunee. Shout out to our indigenous brothers and sisters. So I mean, but even in that, you can tell the research went into this, and it wasn't a made up language. It wasn't just you did the research in it, which shows respect, but also again shows the love and care you put into this. So I appreciate that.
Our Sachem Reed character has cultural or historic ties to the Haudenosaunee too. So he uses a lot of their language and some of their concepts, and hopefully, I think, is a great representation.
Yeah, there's quite a few phrases and like sentences in part one of this. So yeah.
Someday, I haven't totally announced this yet, but there will be a prequel of sorts, and we will explore maybe how and why Andre Reed finds himself in the Haudenosaunee language and some of their customs and stuff. So we'll see. There's more ideas than we can contain, but yeah, it's great. Someday.
But you already got it in the pipeline. That's what's important. So that means that, come 2028 or whatever it is, that maybe after the Super Bowl, when we win and these books sell out, they're going to be needing more, and you can do like a prequel.
The idea is so strong. I cannot wait for the Hero Wars.
Well, we know once you get your brain on something, that's kind of it.
Unfortunately.
I get it. I get it. We are thankful for it, though,
All I was trying to convey here is that we are equals, and we're in the ultimate pay-per-view battle of the century. And I did want to kind of make Patrick and Josh are sort of like mirrors of each other. They're both called the Gunslinger. They're both respected in the same way. If this was a Chiefs, Kansas versus the Multiverse, you almost might get the exact same story of a bad guy, Josh, coming in who's his equal and blah, blah, blah. And trying to give... I didn't want to go just over the top, like they're just villain in this exact present, to be like, no, he's a respected part of a respected people who have done good stuff as well.
One thing that this did remind me of, in a different episode, Allen versus Lamar, I remember talking to you about what I thought might happen, and it was almost like this doppelganger setup, in my mind. And I think that this kind of hits that more, and it's probably even more appropriate. And so it's interesting that, I'm thinking that back then with that, and it was like it kind of would have been wasted, because this is the battle. And it is kind of that thing, like they're equal in so many ways. They go toe to toe. There's, they both have their respect. And to see it come out in here, it's so much more appropriate, which is why you're the one that made it, But it is interesting that does actually come up, and it's a thought I had however many episodes ago. So I do really love that. To get into my clip, do you want to maybe set up what happens leading up to the entrance of the team?
Yeah. So basically, just all we would want to know or remind ourselves is that Josh finds himself in a chariot battle. And it doesn't really matter the mechanics of it, but I kind of have imagined one of my favorite movie scenes of the world, which is Ben-Hur, the chariot scene.
It's gotta be if you're talking about chariots, man.
Yeah. In real life, I mentioned like that big trip happened. So I wanted to represent the Jones trip in our world. So Josh is coming around. He's lining up on third down. He's got a chance. In this case, a lance comes in and destroys his chariot out of nowhere. And then one of these smitten priests comes back out and he says, like, too bad, man. You're out of your chariot. You're disqualified. And that'll be that. I'm happy to be done with this stupid saga that's been so difficult, on the religion. Probably was for the NFL, to Josh's lowest point, where he's just like, all right, well, I lost it. And now, he just takes a moment to be like, okay, what does that actually mean? That means I've started a war. The innocent people at home have no idea what I'm doing. My friends don't know what I'm doing, but I've just given it all away. So that's where we find ourselves.
And then we get into my clip.
Yeah.
So play that joint, please.
There is no super collapse if I can't overcome the Chiefs. Josh vomited. On his hands and knees, he vomited again. He was no savior. What would Diggs say? Unable to overcome. Maybe alone, said a voice. A new, chipper voice. Unable to overcome them alone? Diggs? Diggs! Shouted Josh to the super spy rappelling in from his Zubaz airship. Blue, white, and red banners of the Mafia framed him. Horns bellowed from the sky.
Let's go, Buffalo! Yeah. So, let's go. So, I chose this clip because it just so perfectly reminds me of like that end game scene. Where Cap is like, I'm ready to go at it alone. I have nothing else, but I can't. And all you hear is on your left. You know what I mean? And so like that's what this made me feel like when it's like he's ready to give up. You know, Josh vomits, which is something that guy does.
Yeah.
And he's like, what do I do? And then you just hear similar to what she would, maybe like a similar parallel to Falcon would be a Diggs. And it's just like, maybe alone, you know, and it's just so perfect. So I'm here with my headphones like, let's go!
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's such an epic entrance.
When you heard that part, did you know the real world thing that like the Bills had made it out okay?
So I knew ahead of time, like from the game, but I don't think it lessened it for me. You know what I mean? I don't think it lessened the impact because when you're caught up in it, it's the story that it is. And so a part of me might have thought like, yeah, but we win this one. But in this, I'm going through the story. So I'm still like, oh shoot, like what's gonna happen? Yeah. And then that happens, it's like, oh, right. And so that excitement is still there. And that's just what it felt like. And it was so dope.
Yeah, you love that when the team comes. Finally, when you get help, when you need it, it's the best.
Yeah, nothing's better than that.
Yeah.
And so they come in a major way, and it is felt, and it is like, let's go.
Yeah. I think my next clip actually is like right on the back of this. So
is it?
Yeah, I think we'll go right into that, and then we can keep talking. But
this is a toll to war, Lieutenant General. You've brought the demons of Afterlope and Winter on yourself.
Permission to approach, Your Honor. Asked JBL Poyer, Esquire.
Get out of here. You wanted a bloodbath. That is on you,
Yelled the priest with blood on him. I think I heard him say yes, said Dawkins. Your untouchable grace. The honor is mine to address the smitten church through your earthly body. Any action you currently see before you, including the Mohawk's sudden surrender to 4-0 with his war chariot on fire, is mitigated carefully to only equalize but not exceed the actions witnessed and documented above and beyond the agreed-upon scope of unmolested single combat between Josh of Allentown and said Mohawk of the War Chiefs. Obviously the cavalry has come, but also that we all have our own strengths. So you've got 4-0 who just goes in and guns blazing and obliterates things physically, and then you've got people like Poyer who's really put to the test of like, in his legal and his brain and his law savvy. So not only and they both had great games, and that's my way to be like, your great game, you get your great moment where you actually help contribute to the bottom line here.
When I first read how you made Poyer and stuff, I'm like, well, this is interesting. So he's like the team lawyer, like how do we, you know what I mean? So I think it's just so clever how all of the details are managed to be put in there in a way that makes sense. So it's not like it doesn't feel forced, and it's just but it makes it so much better to read and enjoy, you know?
And like, just to remind you, like even now, I still don't know what's coming down the pipe. You know, I like Poyer and Hyde, and Hyde's been injured, but little do I know, we're still a few weeks away from what will become like a major safety moment where, Hamlin has a big, huge injury and Poyer feels some amount of responsibility and all that stuff. So it's such an interesting process to be basing your story as a true adaptation on something that is ongoing. And you have no idea where it's going to go.
Yeah.
The old Game of Thrones writers trying to do the...
Yeah, it's quite the task to take on, man. I do have another clip that I'd like to play.
I know this clip, and I love this clip.
Yeah?
I think it's the best choice.
It's a great clip. I agree.
I want to spend our time here.
Okay.
Me first, shouted Dawkins, putting the guard and Gardner and blindsiding Traveler KC to the ground. Dawkins was a dancer, a record keeper, and a damn good gardener, but not a survivalist. They exchanged again, and Dawkins was sliced open.
Dawkins! Stop! Stop!
Cried Josh, rushing forward faster than he'd ever run on foot before.
You're outmatched!
Dawkins shouted, but re-upped his fists.
No! No!
A bull versus a cougar. I love you, Josh remembered.
I'd give my last finger for you.
I'm not gonna lose more family. But the knife stabbed to the hilt in Dawkins' back. He shouted, stunned, and backed away. Step by step, he staggered in pain. Josh was steps away. "I did it," said Dawkins. "Guess okay," smiled Casey. "Got stabbed?" The gardener smiled at the predator. Out of arm's reach. "I got your knife, brother."
Come on, Travis, come on. Oh, man, that's so good. That is so good.
I appreciate it. I will agree with that one. I love that one.
Yeah.
I can see that one like as a movie.
Exactly.
Like, just play it out. I would love to direct that scene. Just someone like 500 feet away running full speed at the camera of these two guys.
Yeah.
One's, maybe a little more portly, but a little more dedicated. And then you've got your, I keep forgetting his name, Travis Kelce.
Yeah.
Travis, such a weird random name. And who I think of as like muscle bound and just a total cougar, just like I can. And then he stabs your boy and you can't get to him in time.
Yeah.
But he wanted it. Oh,
Yep.
it's just...
It's so cinematic, but it also is just like, I think that the level of emotions in that one scene shows so much, from Alan being like, trying to save him, to seeing him, like, even hearing the, like, I'm seeing it in my head. I'm every time I hear it, I'm moving with it.
Yeah.
And then, to see that and then hear it, like, it's so graphic.
Yeah.
And then to be like, I got it. It's just like, you was in your bag, bro. You was in your bag. That part is so good.
It's because in Dawkins, that's like, it shows that he's smarter than Travis Kelce, whatever you want to say. I keep mixing them both every time. I will not get it right. He's smarter, saying like, I'm playing chess, you're playing checkers. And also like, I'm willing to take one for and who knows how bad that could be.
Right.
It's like, all I need to engage this guy, make him believe it, and then let him let go of it somewhere in my body.
Yep. Yeah.
And then Josh will be free to go through. And that's the type of dedication that me as an author needs to pull from someone who says a real world line of like, for real guys, I would give Josh just needs to say which finger he wants and I would give it to him right now. I'm like, okay, if that's your amount of loyalty that you say to the media, then what does the heightened version of Dawkins give us?
Right.
Gosh,
it's beautiful, man. It is, but like you said, it's that it's obviously art imitating life, but you can't create something better than what life has already given you. You know what I mean?
There's been this parallel with Dawkins in this series of chapters where he's basically like, look, Philly had to give up her life for you to beat these guys, and I am your new Philly. I'm here for you. I love you like she did, and I'm here for you. And so I don't know how much you viewers are bringing that to them at this point, but he's basically saying like, I'll be the guy this time. If Philly had to drop before, I will be the guy to drop this time. And I'm also glad that obviously it didn't need to come to that conclusion because they all were here pulling together and stuff. But
I'm gonna ask this, but you make me think of it. There was so much what I feel like character building for the snowman in this saga here. Which was great to culminate in that. So we built him up and you got to see when it became snow, you already snow. And then this happened. So I think it was great progress to this like exclamation point,
Yeah, I did. I was like, I enjoyed giving a fake origin story to You Already Know. That was fun. And you're right. Yeah, helping to build them. I think I really start to really like the book, around this time and much, because I feel like it's getting much more like deep and interesting. If I had to look back at it, okay, maybe it's bloated and you could cut 20% out for sure and make it a tighter, better book. But I was on a deadline like nobody's business. And, for what I was able to do in the amount of time I had, I'm like, yeah, it's fine. It's fine.
So we round out with Knox. Knox coming in, just like in the real game. We round out with him here, and I think it's just like the perfect cherry on top. You know what I mean?
It's worth saying. If you don't remember, Knox was a very solid tight end prior to this, and then this season, as we mentioned in this chapter, he lost his brother 40 days before the season started. Terrible tragedy. and probably 100% because of that, had a much smaller role in our season. I think he'd only had like 2 catches. And I don't know if you knew this, Cory, but there was a mysterious character earlier in this chapter who's...
the knight?
The knight is Davis.
Okay.
And there's a mountain man who's like walking around with his dog and checking the traps, and then he ends up finding the bison and some handcuffs, and he's like kind of just like probably pursues that lead. And I never named that person. So that is our intro to Knox. And that guy, that mountain man, is checking the traps, and he goes to the grave of his brother, and he puts a flower down like he has every day for the last 40 days. And that's kind of where he's been and why we haven't seen him as a part of the gang. And this was his big touchdown, and also to feel like he's going blow for blow with the other tight end, the most famous tight end, Travis. So very fitting for him to arrive and have his big moment. Yeah. And I think that's probably all of the Bills are now introduced halfway through the book.
I think so.
Yeah,
it's
the main marquee ones.
Yeah.
So
this is the way we end this chapter of Arrowhead Rock, and like the putting that dot on the Chiefs. So before we close out, I have my question I want to ask.
Good.
So I'm wondering from the this is maybe chapter 7 or 8, maybe. Yeah. I want to know if you had to rank your top 3 from what you created out of everything we've gone through now. Where would you rank your top 3? Start with 3, go to 2, and then your number 1. And it could be chapter, it could be storyline, or introduction maybe. But like, what are your top 3 moments in here?
Oh, that's good. I feel a little on the spot. I was not briefed. That's okay. So the Diggs-Allen confrontation in the projector room is one of my favorites. At least I'm going to just put them in a group for now.
Okay.
Because that's speaking to me, it's speaking for me, and it's speaking for the team. I really just like how that all came together.
Yeah.
And then I think definitely something early on, like little Josh. I think probably the opening itself, like little Josh and his mom and Philly and the small time gang at the ferry is really sweet to me. And my favorite parts of the book are yet to come. Right. So be excited for that.
That's fair.
Even for you as my friend who's going to read it, I'm like, and those of you who are with us now, if you are going through this, like, don't let up now. It's only going to get better from here. We've got some major things to happen. But I think, in fairness, to answer your question, I'll do Sachem Reed talking about how stories can hold us and what they mean and significance they hold. Because that does kind of impact. Once I hit that it felt like a truism enough that I was like, okay, I think that's true in life. And it's important to remember that the way that we talk about the people we care about, the way we talk about ourselves, the way we talk about our team, our city, the things we want to build up, like, it does matter. The story and the narrative about it matters quite a bit. And so if you want to destroy something, keep saying that it doesn't measure up and keep finding all the faults in it. And if you want to make something better, then fight for it and believe what it is. And it's not the needles of a redwood tree that keep us from climbing up to the top of it. It's the fact that we know that if we fall, we'll die. And I just feel like that can be taken into life, broader. So
yeah. That was a great answer. Great answer, Travis. And with that, we will conclude our 2-part saga into the Chiefs' kingdom. Yes. Thank you for joining me for this one. I'm your host, Cory McCants.
And I'm Travis. It's been awesome to share all this. Next week, we will be going to... We go back in time. Who is that blacksmith?
We go back in time, man. It's going to be good. It's going to be good. Yeah.
They make it.
All right. Well, Thank you all for joining us. Travis, tell us how we can find this book if we're looking for it.
As you always can find it, it is at panamericanfilms.com. I hope to see you there for all the great stuff. All right. See you next week.
Thank you. And go Bills.
Go Bills.